Hi, this is Nish from Professional Visa and Education Services to Immigration Lawyer. So starting with the processing time for 482 visa applications. Now, there has been a great concerns about the ongoing delays with the immigrations about the 482 processing times. They have actually shed some lights about the fact that there have been some allocated resources to process the 482, especially with the critical occupations. Even registered nurses and education sectors, construction sectors are facing some delays, where initially it was promised that critical sectors will be processed faster. But again, there has been some news that, the department is checking the resources and making sure this fast track process stays in place. So the second one is subclass 186. There has been some considerations for medical checkup. So a lot of people understands that when the 186 visa application is lodged, the system will automatically generates the HEP ID for you to conduct the medical checkup. Because there has been some extensive delays with the 186 visa applications, what usually happens is after 12 months, that when your application is assessed, the Department of Home Affairs has to request for you to undergo the medical checkup again. Now, this is sort of creating the extra cost on the client to sort of go and conduct the medical checkup again and again. So Department of Home Affairs is looking at not generating that automatic HEP ID for you to conduct the medical checkup. Rather, when your application will be open, then the Department of Home Affairs will then request for the medical checkup for you to undergo and complete the file. At the moment, the processing time for 186 visa applications is showing, especially for the direct entry, it's not a critical occupations or not regional based employer. It's taking more than 15 to 16 months, if not more. So again, there has been serious discussion about how to speed up the process to get the distance faster. Obviously, a lot of employers have been quite disgruntled about the processing time. So when the application is lodged, that's when these people are needed to be working in that skill occupation. But by the time the nomination gets approved, especially for the offshore application, it takes about year and a half. So the business need for that particular position is already fading away, and that particular skill set has been somehow fulfilled by unskilled or whatever the resources that is available in the market. So this has been also flagged with the Department of Home Affairs, that especially with the offshore applicants who are not working for the employer, and the employer has applied for the nomination and a visa application under the employer sponsorship scheme, the extensive waiting period has created some vacant position for the employers and not been able to fulfill in a timely fashion. The other clarification we have received is initially there has been a verbal communication from the Department of Home Affairs for 186 TRT stream, that for an applicant to apply for 186 TRT stream, that their employer has to be approved sponsor throughout their employment period. So the department has actually clarified that you don't have to have approved sponsor throughout that 2 years period. The only component that we need to match or we need to meet is basically that you have been employed for that sponsored employer for the entire period of your employment, and you should be able to apply for 186 TRT stream without having your employer to be approved for the entire duration of your employment period. The other thing is there has been quite a discussion about immigration, Department of Home Affairs maintaining a sponsor employer public register. So what does this register do is it will publish all the company that have their standard business approval who can actually sponsor the candidates. In this way, that the potential applicant who is looking at getting sponsorship in Australia can go and check the company's detail on Department of Home Affairs website to find out whether or not they can actually sponsor people to sort of mitigate a lot of scams and fraud around the sponsorship area. Other news is about the student visa update. Now, there has been a new process under the Direction 115. We have one of our education consultant has made a video about this, so you can go and watch about the 115 directions. So basically the 115 directions is focus around faster processing time based on the education providers allocated numbers and the priorities. So the education providers based on regional education providers, universities have their quotas and caps. So based on those numbers, if they haven't exhausted the numbers and you have applied for the student visa with those universities, will be processed faster, and if those universities and education providers has exceeded the numbers, then your student visa from offshore will be processed much slower that in comparison to the ones that has numbers left. For the onshore student, obviously the time period for your visa processing time period has changed. So originally it was 11 months or more, but now it's getting processed just under five months or 6 months, which is a good news for international students studying in Australia and have applied for a student visa extension. The other thing is applicants are encouraged to look into their confirmation of enrollment. So if they have applied for international student visa and if extension, and if their COEs has already expired, what that does is instead of visa getting refused, the Department of Home Affairs has to send out Section 56, which is requesting for further documents, which is either upload a new COE or withdraw your application. So just to save that extra processing time for the Department of Home Affairs, all the agents and lawyers are encouraged to look into the visa application that are currently in process. And if the applicant's COE has expired, then we need to think about whether to apply for another visa, withdraw the visa, or simply upload the application with the new COE and give them the reasoning why you would like to extend with the new course. The other thing is the partner visa. Again, partner visa is one of those visas that we have received significant delays in a processing. Well, some of these applications for partner visas are taking 20 months, even more. So this is the concern that was raised to Department of Home Affairs. So with this particular processing time for partner visa, well, some of you might not know, but then the partner visa is a combined application for two visa subclasses. So if it's onshore, it's 820, 801, and if it's offshore, it's 309 and 100. So it's technically you're applying for two-stage visa at the same time. So even if the waiting period is entire 2 years, so both stage 1 and stage 2 will be processed at the same time. But Department of Home Affairs is aware about these extensive delays in a partner and a family stream. So they are also looking at increasing the resources to ensure that the partner visa gets processed in a timely fashion. The other important topic is the protection visa, humanitarian visa. So department has acknowledged that there has been some inconsistency in relation to requesting for the documents. For some applicants is pretty quick and some of the applications are taking forever. So they are also looking at streamlining this process. So just for your information, if the application doesn't have really good claims and the claims are very weak, the Department of Home Affairs are also looking at processing those protection visa. Well, 85% of those protection visas are being processed fairly quickly. So it's gone. I mean, if you look at the historical time frame for protection visa, even if you have lodged, people used to stay on those bridging visa for 2 to 3 years before Department of Home Affairs start requesting for documents. I think those days are gone. So you have to think about, do you have strong claims? And if you do have a strong claims, you can proceed. But again, your claims are weak, then protection visa will be refused fairly quickly. And also Department of Home Affairs are thinking about, some of the applications are also getting refused in a real time. So which means you might not even get a couple of days. So you might even get refused instantly. Well, thanks for watching. This is Nish from Professional Visa and Education Services. I'll see you soon in next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.